as you said, I'm Brett Roussell. I just recently graduated from Ozark High School, and now I'm going to go to Missouri State Diploma in Finance. So I'm not an expert, I'm not a policymaker. You're just somebody who just went through the system. What we're here to talk about. A few weeks ago, I walked across the stage. I graduated. I shook a few hands and got a diploma. So what that's supposed to mean? It's supposed to mean that students are ready. They're ready to go to college. They're ready to go to work. They're ready for the rest of their lives. But that's often not what people feel. They feel excited. They feel relieved. They feel ready, but they also feel uncertain. They're uncertain as to what they're going to do with the rest of their lives because they don't know. Because school, the way it's formatted, it's a very cookie cutter process. It's not tailored to fit different types of students. So what people often wonder is, are we prepared? Are we prepared to go work? Are we prepared to go to college? Are we prepared for the rest of our lives? And the simple answer is no, we're not. Because when we're in school, education it's one of the most important systems that we have in our government. It shapes how we think. It shapes how we solve problems. It shapes how we view the world and how we build our futures. And in many ways, it works. There are teachers who inspire you, teachers who build you up, and teachers who believe in you. And there's classes that challenge you. There's classes that make you think. There's classes that make you have to work. But there's also teachers that don't, and classes that don't do that. I've seen classmates who are incredibly talented feel that they're less than just because they don't measure up to a standard of success, just to a simple definition of success. And the definition of success that students are met with is that in order to be successful, they have to have a 4.0 GPA. They have to want to go to college. They have to know what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. And most students don't know any of this. So the definition of success that schools work on is not fitting to the majority of students in the public school system. The public school system is great. I'm a product of the public school system. Pretty good one, I think. And it's a great system to have. It's a great thing that we use. It's one of the most important things to public life. It is when the founding fathers started schools, one of the first things they did was implement a public school system. They implemented schools because they knew that education would lead to a more prosperous future for the entire country. So that's what they did. They started public schools. And another thing that we need to implement in school, schools need to prosper, so they need to change their definition of success. They need to invest in energy, money, funds, time into technical programs, apprenticeships, not just college. There are many ways that you can measure success, and the definition of success being just students who go to college is not an accurate way of describing what they're going to do. There's potential that goes underdeveloped not because students don't care, not because the teachers don't care, just because there's not enough opportunity for students to do what they want to do. Schools need to have more technical programs. The school I went to Ozark High School, they have an innovation center. They have schools where they have a woodworking class, they have construction classes, a kitchen where you can learn to cook. They have things that you can do. We have a media production team. We have a business program. We have DECA at the LA. There are ways to tailor everything to not just one version of what success should be. You can tailor success to multiple things, and I think that if the public schools start to do that, you'll see more future. Future isn't just something that happens; it's something that's built. You have to build the future that you want to see. You have to build it up, and that starts in the public schools. You spend 13 years of your life going through public schools. So that's where the future is starting to be built. I mean, public schools, they build the next state representatives, state senators. They build the next president. They build the next businessman, congressman. That's where that all starts. It doesn't start when you go to college. It starts when you're in school, when you're learning how to critically think, when you're learning how to solve complex equations. It starts in public schools. So it's important to always support the public schools, but it's also important to give students other options. If there is a way that students will be able to learn better, it's okay that you can have school choice. You can let the students go where they will be most valued, go where they will learn the most. It's not just a cookie-cutter program. It's not something that needs to be defined by one aspect or another. If a student's at a school and it's not teaching them the way that they need to be taught, if it doesn't have the opportunities they need, you should be able to go to a school that's going to help you and give you the opportunities that you need to be successful. There are schools like Ozark can have all of these opportunities for you to do, and then there's schools that don't have those opportunities. Students should be able to come to a school where they can learn and take the college classes that they need. It's a system where one path is seen as the right one and everything else is just wrong. The pathway that the school sees as correct is going to college. You have to keep your test scores high because the schools don't want to lose their funding. You have to keep your GPA high because you need to get into a college. You have to do all of these things so you can go to college and so your school can lose money. Schools become so focused on how much money they have, how much money they're going to lose. They become so focused on what's going to happen to them, not what's going to happen to the students and the teachers. The students and teachers are the backbone of the school, so they need to feel that they're valued. And when you value the teachers, they will in turn value their job, value what they're doing. They're going to feel valued, and then that makes them want to be more engaged with their students. Students are a product of their teacher, not of the administration, not of the school board, but of the teacher, because the teacher is who has the daily impression on the students. In a lot of families, these teachers have more impact on the kids than their families do. These students are built by their teachers, and I think it's important to value them. If we want a better future, we need to have a better approach to education. Education is where it all begins. And what we need to focus on real world skills. Right now, when these students graduate, they know how to take a test. They know how to remember information for just enough time to pass the test. But you know what they do the next second? They forget it all. I've done it. I do it every day. That's what happens. They can solve complex equations, but many of them don't know how to budget money. They can write an essay, but they don't know how to apply for a job. They don't know how to apply for college. They don't know how to do these things because they're not taught. They can memorize facts, but they struggle with practical decision making. There's a lot of criticism. That's not a criticism on students. That's a gap in the system. It's a gap in what education is. It's not teaching them the real world practical skills that they need. Communication skills matter. A lot of these students aren't taught communication skills. They sit at a desk and they're expected to sit there and listen. They're not expected to speak. And oftentimes they're not wanted to speak. So they don't learn the communication skills that they need. And they're not required to. It's something that's foundational to students. It's something that's foundational to a productive member of society. And they're not learning it because they're not expected to. So it's not necessarily about revamping the whole system. It's just changing certain things. And we need to build on what we're doing right. We can build on what we're doing right without stripping the whole system. You can build on the good things and just take away the bad things that will work better. It's easy to talk about changing education, but some of the things change. Some of those changes matter without the people who make education happen every day. Teachers need to be more valued. They need to feel that they're valued. They don't feel that they're valued. And oftentimes there's a divide between the teachers and the administration. They see the administration looks down on the teachers. The teachers don't feel valued by their administration because they feel as if their administration is only there to collect a paycheck. And believe me, that's the issue with a lot of teachers at Ozark. A lot of them leave to go to Springfield Public Schools because they're going to make $8,000 more a year. Teachers need to be valued. Districts of that size should pay teachers better. And if you start to pay teachers better, value them more, give them more opportunity, help them, they will feel valued and they will stay. Teacher retention is a problem. We can't do it very well in some places. And if you keep the teachers that are good, if you value them, they will stay and prosper. Schools, communities, everything will prosper better. When teachers are stretched too thin, it's not the administration that feels the effects, it's the students who feel the effects. If we're serious about improving education, we need to be just as serious about investing in teachers. The students are the ones experiencing this system every day, so it's important to listen to the students and what they have to say. Oftentimes, schools don't listen to students. They don't want to hear what the student has to say. They don't want to hear what I have to say. And oftentimes, they don't want to hear what you guys have to say. They want to do what they want to do. They want to do it the way that they've always done it. The same way that's not working. The same way that's not beneficial to students. And that's the problem. Listening to students doesn't mean handing over control to them. It doesn't mean that you're losing everything. It means that you're listening to the people who experience your system, your rules, your regulations, and your curriculum every single day. They know what works and what doesn't work for them. Each student is different. It's important to change things, not to measure success by what you think is right, but to measure success by many different things. You are successful if you want to go work in the trades. You are successful if you want to go to college. You're successful if you don't want to go to college. College is not an accurate measure of success. I think schools need to approach it in a way that shows that. This is not about tearing down education. It's not about saying everything is broken, that nothing works. But because that's not true. There are incredible teachers. There are incredible schools. There are strong schools. There are programs making a real difference, like the Innovation Center at Ozark schools. And schools partnering with OTC to let students take college classes. Those are programs that are working, and it's important to make those programs bigger as opposed to stripping them down. Not everything works, but some things do, and it's important to focus on the things that do work and find new things that work. So we're continuing to evolve the schools because the future starts in public schools, and it's important to realize that. The question is whether our education is doing everything it can unlock the potential. Students have so much underdeveloped potential because they feel undervalued because they don't measure up to the definition of success that schools give them. And that's not fair to the students. It disenfranchises them to the success that they could have if the schools support them and teach them how to do it. Right now we have a choice. We can keep doing the way that we're doing everything the way that's always been done. Or we can take what we've learned, listen to people who are part of the system, go through every day, and change it. Something more positive, something more practical, something more supportive of students. Something that does support students and what they want to do with their lives. Education should be this. Public schools should be doing these things. The education system is building the next generation of leaders, so it's important to value them and teach them how to do things. I appreciate you all for coming. Thank you.